we have the new eyeshadow palette from Natasha Denona. This one is called the Balloon Palette. I'm super excited. It is a meaty palette and I did pay overnight. I got it directly from the Sephora website. So let me just give you a little bit of information about this palette. It retails for $69. It does have a shelf life of 24 months and it's made in Italy. And here we have the outer packaging of the palette. Here is the box so you can see it side by side. So pretty much what you're getting in the box is going to intensify in color a little bit in the outer packaging, which I think it is absolutely gorgeous. Like packaging wise, so beautiful. So now let's go ahead and open up the palette together. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So right away I thought that it was very warm tone for sure. I also do really enjoy the peachiness tones that it does have. It does have a pinkiness to it, which, you know, it is definitely within theme of being a bloom palette. So I am not going to knock it for that because it is the theme of it. And of course, you know, bloom, spring, it calls for pinks, and that's fine. But I also do notice right away that it's lacking a little bit of depth, and I do feel like the colors are very close to one another. So I'm very interested in seeing how these are going to translate on the eye. So we're going to create a couple looks with this palette. So let's go ahead and get into the swatches, the demoing of this palette, and just playing with this palette. I am very, very excited. But if you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Jarrell. Welcome. I hope that you guys are here to stay. I am trying to get to the 10K mark. I have been doing YouTube for a little while, so I hope that you guys can help me out with that. And of course, liking and commenting down below always helps out my channel so much. And if you are a return subscriber, what's up? You guys already know what we do here. Thank you so much for just coming back and hanging out with me. I love you guys very much, and let's go ahead and get started with the video. Based on what I'm getting from Natasha Denona's Instagram account, you can pretty much go anywhere in the palette to create any look. So you can go diagonal, you can use it vertical, you can use it horizontal, you can use it in quads as well. So it doesn't matter how you actually look at this palette. You can go in so many ways to be easy for you to create looks. It also says that it has her signatures formula, which are creamy matte, silky matte, metallic, sparkling foil, and duochrome. But here we have the swatches for the new Balloon palette from Natasha Denona. By the way, it was actually inspired by the Balloon Blush and Glow palette. So here we have it. I mean, this one has been in my collection for a hot minute. I use it all the time, like on and off throughout the years. It's really nice and beautiful. So let me just show you really quickly side by side with the 4 palettes that I decided to take out. Here we have the Balloon palette, and here we have I Need a Warm palette. You can see that the I Need a Warm palette is definitely a little bit more on the like earthy tones, a little bit more browny, not so pinky or peachy whatsoever. I mean, maybe there is one shade that I could say that they are pretty similar. Everything else, it looks pretty different. Here we have the Love palette, and here we have the Bloom palette. There might be a couple of shades again that are close, but yeah, this one is definitely more like purplish, reddish, a little bit more on the cooler side versus the Bloom palette. So this one is the I Need a Bronze palette, and here we have the Bloom palette. Yeah, not very, very similar to one another. And the last one that I do have is this one, which is the Retro palette. And this one is definitely a little bit more cool tone, more purple, not very, very close to the Bloom palette whatsoever. Here we have the I Need a Nude palette. I'm going to put a picture of it right here. I do have it. It's just in my makeup kit, and I'm being lazy, okay? I'm being lazy. I do not want to go in my closet and get all my makeup kit and all of that. It's just a little too much. I just want to play with this palette already. I have been talking for the last hour. I've been interrupted so many times. People are so rude, like they don't know that I am filming. Anyways, but that palette is definitely a little bit more on the neutral side, leaning a cool tone for sure, versus this one is going to be a little bit more warmer and more peachiness. There's a little bit more warmth to this palette overall, comparing it to the I Need a Nude palette. Again, I do have that palette. I use it all the time. I know exactly how it looks on people, and it's not going to be this at all. So yeah, let's go ahead and prime our eyes. I'm going to use the same eyeshadow primer that I have been using for I don't know how long. It's the Hourglass eyeshadow primer. I'm just going to grab a little bit of that. I'm just going to put it all over my eyelid. You can go ahead and use whatever eyeshadow primer you want. I'm going to start with this side right here. So just taking this shade, which is the lightest shade in the palette, and that one is called Petal. So I'm taking my Refer 15 brush. I love that it has a mirror. Thank you so much, Natasha Denona. And yeah, this one is exactly how I thought it was going to be. Very, very light. So I'm just going to add it to my brow bone and just bring it down a little bit towards my crease. Just blend it out. I don't even have a lip balm on. Let me put some on so you guys don't have to see my dry lips. So the next shade that I actually want to take is the shade in Keen, just because Keen and Petal look very, very similar. So I want to see if this one shows up at all. And right away, I do see that the pigmentation on the brush is a little bit deeper. So let's go ahead and add that one to the crease. So yeah, you can see it. It's very orangey, peachy shade. Tangerine, just like it was described. So I'm going to add it to my outer corner and on my crease. So you can see Keen is definitely showing up versus the first shade that I put down, which is amazing. And I love Natasha Denona so much for that, just because everything helps you to blend out. So I'm going to go back to the first shade, which is Petal, and I'm going to use a clean brush just to blend the edges of Keen a little bit more. The Refer 13 brush, and I'm going to use the shade Brick. And I'm going to add it to the outer corner. Yeah, this is the perfect name for this shade right here. It is truly a brick color, very terracotta, beautiful in pigmentation. It does have some fallout, so just make sure that you either do your eyes first, or you can just make sure that you just tap the excess. I don't think that I did that. When it comes to the formula, listen, I don't think that I could ever be mad at Natasha Denona. I have gotten palettes from Natasha Denona where the color story just does not speak to me, but when it comes to the formula, it's just so beautiful to work with. And this palette is definitely up my alley. I absolutely love shades like this, very warm tone. Love me a good orangey, tangerine-y, peachy kind of shade so much. And just going back and forth with Brick and Keen until I am satisfied with the blend. Just adding it to my lower lashes on the bottom and the outer part and just extending it out. It doesn't have a lot of pigment anymore. My brush is now stained. With whatever is left on the brush from the shadow, I'm just going to bring it in just a little bit on the crease. But anyways, let's go ahead and now add this shade right here, which is Florence. This is the first shade. Adding it right here on the center, as you can see. And making sure that I work it towards the shades that we do already have in the outer corner. Going back with Brick to make sure that we didn't lose any of that intensity, and also just to bring it in a little bit more to blend in with Florence a little bit better. I knew I had to miss a shade. I don't think that I actually swatched Lush. That is the one that I'm going to be using with the Refer 26 brush, and I'm just going to add that right here in the inner corner. It's like a golden peachy shade. Has a little bit more golden to it. So I'm just going to add it to the inner corner and just bring it in a little bit, and also bring it in towards the crease. And with whatever is on my brush, I'm just going to tap it so it can blend in with the shade that we do have in the center, which is Florence. I'm going to use that shade again, Lush. I'm just going to bring it in on my lower lashes and just swiping it to meet with Brick. Using the What's Up Beauty brush in R111. I'm using my Refer brushes and my What's Up Beauty brushes. Those are just my amazing brushes for my eyes. I love them so much. I'm going to take the shade Embark, which is the darkest shade in the palette. And I'm going to just create a little bit of definition on my lash line, mainly in the outer corner, and also on my lower lashes in the outer part of my eye. Not going all the way in with it. Tiny, tiny baby wing. This makes a huge difference for your eye. You can see the difference. Just makes it a little bit more defined. It actually makes it look like elongated as well, which I love that. And I'm going all the way in my upper lashes, but really close to my lash line. Using Natasha Denona Micro Tech Eye Crayon in the shade Brown to tight line Alright guys, because it does have a little bit of fallout, I am going to clean up. Alright, I'm going to curl my lashes and mascara and show you the final look for this eye. Alright guys, and I am back with this undone face, and I did end up changing my shirt just because, okay, just let me. Anyways, let's go ahead and now work on this eye right here. So using the shade in Petal one more time, and I'm using the Rephr R105 brush. Just going to run it on my brow bone again, just bring it down a little bit on my crease. So now I'm going to take the shade in Robin with the same brush. This is going to be a little bit more pinky. Just going to use that in the outer corner and on my crease and creating my shape. And these creamy matte shades from Natasha Denona, they do take a little bit of work to build up the color, but they blend out so beautiful that it's just worth it. It doesn't take forever, but it does take a little bit of time to build them up. So now taking the same brush and just going back with Petal just to blend the edges. Taking Rephr 01 brush and the shade in Ren. This one is a little bit more pinky. I am going to tap it in the outer corner, working it right here in the outer V of my eye, and just blending it up towards my crease and towards the first shade that we apply, which is Robin. Using a What's Up Beauty R102 brush, I'm going to take the shade in Floss, which is this one right here. Just adding this really low on my outer V, just trying to create a little bit more depth. Just bringing it in a little bit on the crease as well. Just creating a little bit of dimension there. I'm going to use the shade in Floss, just adding it a little bit more towards the outer corner, just blending it up. So I'm pretty much just adding that right on top of Ren, just creating a little bit more depth. I'm not trying to lose Ren, so I'm going to just go back and just blend the edges. And going back with Robin right on top of the other one. Alright, I'm going to use Equinox with my finger. I'm going to add Equinox from the inner corner of my eyelid and just bringing it and meeting with the other shades that we already added in the outer corner. That looks so beautiful. With the Rephr 29 brush, it is super tiny. I am going to take the shade Clover, which is this purpley shade. I'm going to use it really close to my lash line, just creating a little bit of definition. I feel like this part is incomplete, so I'm going to take the shade in Rue. I'm just going to pat it right here in the outer part of the eye and going back with Equinox and just blending those two together. Okay, that is a little bit better, and I still feel like I am missing a little bit of depth. So I'm going to take a smaller brush. I'm going to take Clover again, and instead of using it with a little tiny brush just in the outer corner, I'm actually going to use a fluffier brush like this. You can use the Rephr 13 brush or this one right here, which is the What's Up Beauty R108 brush. Very tiny, and that definitely gives us a little bit more depth in the outer corner. Yeah, I like that a lot more. And I'm going to run it also on my lower lashes. You can see that there is definitely some fallout. I use way too many colors on this one. I do apologize for that, but I'm testing out the formula. I wanted to see how much depth we can get with all of the shades that I put in the outer corner. And you can see that they are definitely buildable, blendable. Everything is working just fine, even though I put like, I don't know how many shades in one spot. But anyways, that was my fault. Let's go ahead and continue on with the makeup. I am going to add a little bit of Rue with this brush here on my lower lashes, right on the center. And then I'm going to clean the brush using my Sigma switch. I'm going to use the shade Equinox right here in the inner corner. I'm going to bring it up and also just wrap it around my lower lashes and make it meet with the shade in Rue. I'm going to clean up. Alright guys, so I am going to curl my lashes, add mascara, and show you the final look for this eye. Alright guys, so here we have the two looks that I created now using the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. There was 3 shades, unfortunately, that I was not able to use, which is Fleur, Crisp, and also this shade right here, which is called Amber. I was not able to use them. I will definitely use them in a future video. I am going to continue on playing with this palette, but let me go ahead and give you my first impressions when it comes to the Bloom palette from Natasha Denona. Packaging is absolutely beautiful. Love it so much, and I love that it has a mirror, and I love that it actually like stays in place. It's not going to fall on your face or anything like that. Love that you can use this palette horizontally, vertical, in quads, or you can jump like I did to create super easy wearable looks. So let me give you my first impressions. When I open up the palette, it's so boring. So boring to look at, but at the same time it looks so beautiful on the eyes. Boring is what's in right now. Boring is what we reach for all the time. If you tell me otherwise, I know that you're not telling me the truth, because there is no way that I'm going to be reaching for blue eyeshadows every single day. I'm not going to be reaching for green eyeshadows every single day. Now, if that is you, then I totally admire you. That is amazing. This color story is definitely something that we are going to be able to reach for more and more, especially for different occasions. If you're going out on a date, going out with your friends, going to church, to work, for every single day, you're going to be able to reach to this palette, and I love that so much. Again, it looks so boring, but boring looks beautiful, and it's just super easy to create looks for every single day. The formula when it comes to Natasha Denona is the same that we know. It is absolutely gorgeous. There's no issues on blending, building up the color. It does take you a little bit of time, like I've mentioned while I was doing the tutorials. It does take you a little bit of time to build up the color, but it doesn't take you forever, but it does take you a little bit of time. So they are definitely buildable. It really doesn't matter your level in makeup. You're going to be able to use all of these shades, and that is the reason why I have a couple of palettes in my makeup kit from Natasha Denona, because the formula is just easy to use on my clients and on myself, and I love that so much. If you already have something like this in your collection, then don't pick it up. But if you love Natasha Denona like I do, you are just excited to use a new palette, because it is always so exciting to use a new eyeshadow palette, then go ahead and get it. I am going to be linking it down below in the description area. I also do have a code with Natasha Denona. I don't know if you can use my code to get a discount with this palette, but I'm still going to link it down below just in case you guys are interested. It is affiliated, so I do get a small commission. I am not here to sell you anything. I'm just here to show you, to review the product, let you guys know my first impressions, what I think about the formula, if it's worth it or not. Now, when it comes to you actually buying the product, that is really up to you. If it's something that excites you, then go for it, because you're definitely going to enjoy the formula and just creating like super beautiful, just boring looks, and they look so nice on the eyes. But yeah guys, that is it for this video. That is it for this review on the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. I hope that it was helpful for you guys. Let me know in the comment section down below if you guys would like to see more looks with this palette. What are your thoughts when it comes to this palette? Are you going to get it? Are you not? Are you disappointed? What were you expecting for her to come out with? What are you excited to see from Natasha Denona? Let me know in the comment section down below. So many questions. I know, I'm just so nosy. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your love, your time, and support. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you guys have not already, and I will see you next time.